all this, I'm looking at the comments. They all are proud of their 5% ARs, right? So you must be cherry picking. Why don't you come on and tell us what you're doing? We got one.
All right.
All right.
How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hey guys.
Good.
All right. Takers tokens. Where are you from? What city are you in? What kind of car you drive? All that good stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry, I got you on the bottom here. It's confusing me.
Okay.
I'm in Chicago and I rent a car through Lyft.
Okay.
I have to because my car died. I pay about $260 for the rental. Um, I have caps on me because I have a disability claim and yada yada.
Okay.
With the cherry picking, I use Lyft because they charge you for personal miles. It's like $25 for 20 miles. So I just figured that out and used that for my. I used the Gigu app and put that minimum in for the mileage. I don't know what to put in for the other ones, but I'd never pick anybody under 4.9. And
How do you like the Gigu app?
it's wonky sometimes. Like I'll
Yeah.
be in the middle of a ride, I'll have the map on, and it'll give me notifications for $494 per hour or $59 per minute or mile or something, and it's it works sometimes and it doesn't work other times.
It works. I think like 85% of the time it works well, and then it does get confused once in a while. But they're working on it. So when you're cherry picking in Chicago, but you're renting, so you really don't have too much of a choice. But right, you got to take trips to pay for the rental and make some money. So do
Right.
you cherry pick or do you not cherry pick?
Oh, I cherry pick.
Okay.
Yeah,
So how do you do it? How do you do
I
it?
don't. I have a red line for. I don't go south of the 290 corridor because
Okay.
that's a gangland area in some of the sections. Um, I don't go out to the suburbs. I avoid tolls because they they rob us on the tolls.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. I just kind of figure it out in my head, and I go by like the minutes and the miles.
Do you
Um,
have some sort of a? Do you leave your house with like a daily dollar goal in the morning, or are you a full? I'm assuming you're a full time driver.
Part time.
Part time. Okay. Do you like go? Okay, I'm gonna make $100 today. I can make it in 3 hours, or I can make it in 8 hours, or whatever. Do you go with that mindset out there
It's more of a weekly. It's
weekly?
$350 a week is the max
Okay.
that I can make.
Okay. And what does that make sense mathematically though? Because you have the 250 plus the gas for the car, and you're just basically working to pay off the car, pay for the car.
Essentially, because
Okay.
of the caps that I have for the disability claim, I can't make over $1,600 a month.
I got you.
So I
I got
just divided that and I
Okay.
figured it all out. But
So you just have a car. You're just making sure that the Lyft is paying for the rental of the car. But you're driving. You're doing work though. I mean.
right, it gets me out of the house because I was isolated for so long with the back injury
Okay.
and I wasn't getting out. So I get out and I'm able to interact with people. I have wheels to get to the doctor appointments because my car died right as I was applying for Uber, and so I needed wheels. So it gives me wheels. It gives me that interaction. It's more of a self satisfying thing for me than it is a moneymaker.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, we appreciate it. Thank you for coming on.
Thanks.
Stay healthy. Be well. Take care of yourself.
All right. Thank you. All right. And then we have Mr. Gambit.
Here comes Mr. Gambit.
What's up, guys? I'm going to
He's
show you some palm trees for the guys who don't know what these palm trees look around the country. Here we are. Here's some palm trees in California.
Where are you at,
Inglewood
bro?
is. I'm
Where are
here
you
in
at?
this. I'm in our beautiful city of Inglewood, my man. We got
Ah,
palm trees
okay.
everywhere.
Okay.
So what's up there, guys? Now the cherry picking things you got to do. For sure when you're doing the cherry picking.
Okay.
Patience is a virtue. Don't never tell yourself, I got to click that thing because somebody's going to get it first. Look at the numbers that you want. I always say, what do I want to get for the trips that I'm going to take? And how much am I going to get for that trip I'm going to take? That means
Okay.
when you do that, you're already in the head of the game saying, I want to get at least $20 for the next trip. And if I can get that $20 in the next 5 to 6 miles, I'll do it. But don't just go, I got to click on a $3 trip. Somebody's going to steal it from me. The minute you start clicking
So,
on those trips,
Mr.
the app,
Gambit,
yeah,
do you agree? Do you agree that when you're doing that $3 trip, you have opportunity cost, right? You may be missing on the $20 trip.
right, you're going to be missing an opportunity. What happens is, Sergio, they catch you in the boredom moment when they delay your getting trips or getting a good, decent trip. People get bored and they will
Yep.
click that trip. And I've done that for you. And I'm sure everybody else has done that too. When you're bored, the
Yep.
app, remember, we're working against an AI that's programmed to know what we want and
Yeah.
says, okay, he wants that bigger trip. Well, let's give him this one here and see will he take it. And if you
Yeah.
take that little one, they're going to send you more of those. The more of those you get, whether it be day or night, you're talking to a guy who's worked that 24-hour cycle, morning, noon, and night. Just like you said, you got to know that at times when it surges, even when they don't want to surge it, they got to surge it. And they can't play with the federal ground. Remember, the airports are federal grounds. You can't stall thousands of people while they try to take the most money for those trips. When they do it at the airport, they know for sure some of these trips got to be priced right to get these people from waiting around there. When they play that game of stalling people at the airport, you'll see people complaining, waiting for 45 minutes to an hour to get a trip
Yeah.
because they run out of ants at the airport. That's when they got to price it right, or you strand trips. When guys who know how to make money, they wait and get the right amount of money of $2 to $3 per mile to do that trip. If you concentrate like that and get back to the airport, you make money. But the minute you start telling yourself, "I'll go this 10 miles for $10," and it takes me 45 minutes, they know they got a sucker already. And
Yeah.
then if you keep
Well, I
doing
mean, look,
that,
I consider you the premier cherry picker in Los Angeles because I know you, and I've seen enough of your screenshots. Tell me, is there any? I mean, I read some of the article, but
mhm.
give us some tips about cherry picking in general in Los Angeles. Look, every city is different, first of all, right?
Well, yeah,
But
every city it is
I
different.
want to I want to ask this question that gets asked me a lot, right?
Okay,
Lately, anyway, it's at least last year or so.
okay.
They go, Serge, if there are no cherries to pick, what cherry picking are you talking about? Can you
Well,
answer that?
well, remember this. This is the key to knowing when you don't think there's a cherry pick and you don't see a radar on your screen and you don't see the price jump up on your screen. Don't forget, guys, the cherry's still there. The
Yeah.
companies just take the cherries from you, and you don't know it's because you get used to taking the garbage trip. You think I'm in a busy area, I should get this cherry. Wait a minute. The prices are being cut, and then why don't you just pretend you're the person getting the ride, and you click on your thing and say, let me get me a ride going from, let's say, from downtown, Torrance, going to the crypto.com arena. That means
Yeah.
you know what it normally pays, and a standard normal pay is anywhere from $45 to $65. But Uber tries to get that $32 and pay a driver maybe 26 or 25. Well, that customer will always pay that 65 to 75 to up to $100 sometime.
Yeah.
You may not know this, but this is a price Uber knows, and it's already programmed in the pie. The minute you say, I'm going to take it for this price, I don't care what Uber makes. Who cares what Uber makes? But you know what you make. And once you tell yourself, I got to make this at this busy time because I'm dealing with LA traffic. You can't play a game with this traffic telling yourself, I'm going to take this low cost ride when you know you may be stuck in traffic for an hour and a half. The minute
Yeah.
you take that $27 ride, that means you're going to make $27 in an hour and a half. So the
Yeah.
minute you just look at the number and not the time, you're already the sucker that they want you to drive. They said,
Yeah.
look, if you don't went down and got stuck in this traffic, they don't care. I can tell you for sure, from Santa Monica to downtown rush hour every day, it takes an hour and a half to get downtown at 5
Yeah.
o'clock. The
Yeah.
minute you say, I'll take this little 16-mile trip for $22 and Uber's going to charge 65, you're doing the trip for 22. Uber's going to take 65, and
Yeah.
that's why you're already losing the game the minute you come out and says, I'll sit in traffic for an hour and a half for $22. And
Right.
that's the
And
game.
what is your, and you don't have to give up obviously your secrets, but what is your um thresholds for accepting trips? Do you go by the hour? Do you go by, by the
when you do
mile, or what do you
when
do?
you're doing it right, a 20 hour maximum drive time per week, you should average $44 to $52 per hour. That's
Okay.
a fair amount you can try to earn with 20 hours in a week. When you tell yourself, let them average me down to 18. Remember, you got costs on your car. The minute you're driving for that $18, that means half of that money could be going to the car and a
Yeah.
maintenance cost or something. That means you're already suckered out of the money, and they know that. And some guys get suckered out of them. And trust me, I'm a guy. I've taken that. I've taken this test for you. So if you want to test it yourself, try doing it all day and see if you get suckered into $18 an hour. Because they'll
Yeah.
say all day you're going to be making 32, but you know what you're making. Don't be a sucker and think that you're making 32 when they basically get you in the game and you're making 18 bucks. You're not making 32 no matter what they say on the app and say
Well,
all our
but so,
drivers make 32.
I'm glad you're here because I get asked a lot of these questions. Like the resistance that I get from cherry
Right.
picking, they go, look, man, I'm only driving for 20 hours a week. I gotta make money. I can't just sit in my car and pick my nose and decline 10 to make one. What do you say to those people? And which I do understand the question, by the way. I'm like, it's valid.
Well, okay, Sergio, when they're asking that, that's the desperation in the world we live in today.
Okay.
Between tariffs, things costing more, just the inflation itself. Not everybody sees the inflation, but when you know it's costing you more to go get a burger or go get a hot dog or something, that means you got to factor that in of your day and saying, well, all right, what am I making? It
Yeah.
just costs more to do business some places, and that in LA it costs us more all the time. I've been
Yeah.
here a long time. It costs us more just to operate, and you can't go 1 mile by that. It costing you something somewhere. So the minute you tell yourself, I'll just do whatever because I got to put food on the table. Yeah, I understand that. Now remember when this all started, years ago, and I've been with them for over 10 years. When this started years ago, the fares were up and they were exploring. This was all investment dollars. Now they're looking at taking care of the stockholders. And the reason they don't talk about us drivers anymore is because they don't care. They've already factored in if we got 8 million drivers we don't have to care about.
Yeah.
Nowhere. So in our
Okay.
world, we want to care about those robots. And when the robots basically take over enough of the runs, especially the cheap runs, they're looking at a profit margin. That's why we're not spoke of, and they're all saying, I'm still surprised why the lawsuits are still coming. They know they've been doing us wrong, and this is what's still been happening, man. Is that they get away with it, nobody does anything. It's like, okay, if we
Yeah.
don't pay the driver nothing, and he's breaking even, so what? He's a nut who took it. We didn't make him. Remember what even our old CEO said that we didn't force you to take the trip. Nobody told you to go buy the limo car. You're right. Nobody, everybody got to know when you buy the big car, it's
Yeah.
costing you, and that Uber or nobody else is buying that car for you. You're paying for that car. You're taking
Yeah.
care of that car. They know that already. So basically, you got to take it upon yourself to say, all right, let me pick the best times to work. And people go, I can't work at drive. I don't work the drunk hours. Well,
Yeah.
shoot, I'm working the drunk hours because I always when finally Jay came on and said, I'm working the drunk hours now, and you get paid more. Sergio, he didn't tell me that new. I knew the drunk hours paid 35 for 45% more because that's when it paid more and surged. Basically, it took a
Well,
lot of
but
people working those
that's the thing
hours.
though. But that's the thing. Uber sells it as flexibility and freedom and this and that. There
Right,
is no
right.
flexibility and freedom. You gotta fucking go where the shit is at.
Right,
Otherwise, you're
right.
gonna make 18 and Prop 22
Sergio,
money, and that's about it.
I've told you, I worked from down this all the way to San Diego to Santa Barbara to Forest San Bernardino, Sergio. I worked 24-hour cycles back before they was clocking and making all the drivers work. I would put that 16-hour day in and see where's the money. Tell me what night is the money on. I used to go to Orange County every day on a Disneyland trip from Venice that
Yeah.
always paid $65 to $75 for the driver.
Yeah.
And Uber basically sometimes barely made anything like a few dollars off of that. That same trip, Sergio, they will sing, and they don't care what time. That same trip to Disneyland during the day can be $32. Who's going to Disneyland taking someone
Yeah.
from LA for $32? It's like, what the hell are they thinking? Who's on crack taking
Yeah.
these trips for $32? And people who
Uh,
just come on the platform may be doing that, and they're taking advantage of them. That's what I
yeah.
mean. That when you cherry pick, you have to start with the thought of, I need to pick the best trips for today. And you're only going to get 7 to 12 good, juicy trips. You may take 15, you may take 20, but you want to get 7 to 10 that are paying decent to give you enough money to make it for the day. The minute
Yeah.
you jump in the game and you don't make that, and you say, damn, I worked all day long and I barely got, $110. But
Yeah.
Uber and that platform, when you look at what the cost, remember that they took away us looking at the trips, but you look at the trips when you log in the app. Look in the app and take a look at your trips when the day's over, and you'll see what the company took in. Now, the way they get away with this, we're talking about that insurance thing, Sergio. Remember that?
Yeah.
They
Yeah.
take all the insurance and make the trip worth the insurance costs, and we're not taking anything. The insurance is taking all the money. So if they did that and get away with it, I don't know the law like they did. I mean, they can pass whatever thing they want to inside the map. All we care about is what we put in our pockets. So with them charging as much as they want to and they're calling it an insurance, I'm like, well, if they're charging more insurance for me to do the trip, you're basically saying take the trip at your cost, and we're going to put all this money in insurance. Uber's not going to make anything, but you're going to make $5, and insurance going to be $15. I
Yeah.
still don't understand the math on
Yeah.
that.
No, well,
When they,
we're working on that part, but no, I mean, seriously, you're an amazing driver, obviously, and you know this inside out. And I think the desperation part plays a big role in it with what you said,
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Sergio, remember that. Let's not cut out. Remember, they got an influx of, come on to America. The door is open. Come get a green card and drive. Now, that aspect of that hit every inch of Uber's world in this country. Every city got people that came from somewhere else that could get a green card. And even when they had another job, they could still come out and drive. That helped the platform tremendously when you can come and get a green card and drive. That means as long as you specify that you're coming here and there's some harm in your country, they will give you that green card to work. And what do you think? Uber, open arms, go rent a car, come lease a car, come take a car and drive, and put 3 or 4 people in your family to do it with you. And that
yep,
just increased the size of their platform. And that's why when you talk to them and they go, Alec, they don't care. Well, Sergio, look at the numbers they got. Why should
yeah,
they? People were
yeah,
coming on this platform and it's doing the work and says, well, if they're doing the work, we're not going to say anything. And
yeah.
nobody says anything, and it just happens like, okay. And that's why the math, in America, we basically look at jobs and say, okay, can I make money doing this? If I can't, I got to take a break. And then you're talking to a
Okay,
guy
so
who's
what do you
taking a
think?
break now.
Let's finish it on this note. What do you
Okay.
think? What do you think? Is cherry picking in 2025 still valid, and should still people do it, or should people just
Oh,
take everything and go home?
I'll break it down for you clearly. It's worth it for you if you got the beater car that's good quality, a good quality beater car that you got paid for, that you get to cherry pick and not have to pay for that car and not have to have a heavy amount of insurance that you're dealing with. That means
Okay,
if you are dealing with a crazy insurance and you're a bad driver and it costs you too much, that means for sure you put yourself in a position that you're not going to make money in this business, find something else to do. But if your
yeah,
car is paid for, you get the cherry pick and not, and that's what I mean too, Sergio. When I was leasing that car, remember some of the trips I had to take even late night that they got me on. They would have trips going to downtown where during the day it would be $45, $50. And late night, they say, well, look, we got drivers here. And the desperate black car drivers and limo drivers and whatever, they're taking trips in downtown for $20 and $18 in the
yeah,
middle of the night. And I knew the game changed then. They said, look, they know God's got to pay for these cars. And we're going to give them every little penny we can. Let's let them pay for a
yeah,
car. But we're going
yeah,
to take the bulk of the money. And that happened. That changed the game. That means that they're not worrying about their numbers. And when you quote, you're good at the financials of looking at when they say, look at what they gross, this quarter. That lets
yeah.
me know, damn, if they gross a lot, I'm not the only guy they're doing it to. It's millions of guys across the
Oh,
world and
absolutely right.
country that is
Yeah,
happening. It's like, what do we do? All we can do is make the money when we can. You can't force it. That means you go get a brand new car. That means you got to pay for that car. I was just lucky to be in a car and rent it, and even tried to rent them. Told them that, look, you can't just rent a car for $450 to $500 a week and give $3 trips all day and night long. The math, tell me somebody who can do math in this room right now and make that work in a week. I can't. I still can't. Don't know how to do
well,
it.
so Mr. Gambit, let's do this. Do you want to do a behind the wheel? Because there was one audience member said Mr. Gambit should do a behind the wheel, right?
I got you.
And number,
Well, I tell you what, Sergio, let's talk about this in the next month. We'll come down and do lunch. I'll do it behind the wheel with you next month. We'll do that.
okay, well,
Let's
no,
get it out
that's
and sit down.
it's gonna be on Zoom. We'll do lunch anyway, and
Okay, we're
then
doing
the
Zoom.
other
Okay.
audience member said if Mr. Gambit wrote a book, I would buy it. There you
I
go.
know, see, I know, man. See, Sergio, I help a lot of guys out doing this. Believe it or not, I see guys at the airport. I see guys even getting gas at the gas station. And I go, and especially when I see somebody who barely speaks English, I said, do you take all your trips? And they go, yes, I take all the trip. They look at me like I've said something wrong where they don't know they can't even take all their trips, dude. I go, what the fuck? I'm, I'm
What's wrong with you? You take all the. What's wrong with you? You cherry pick. What are you doing?
right. Right. That's what I'm saying. They go, yes. They go, you don't take all the trips. They look at me like surprised. And I was like, well, no, you got to pick the better trips. They looked at me like I was speaking a different foreign language. Like,
Yeah,
dude, you don't take all the
you're
trips. Like, what are you
you're an
doing, man?
alien, bro. You can't decline trips. You gotta take all those trips for those Uber Pro points and all that good stuff.
Right,
Yeah,
right. But remember, Sergio, there was a time, dude. They gave at 75 trips. That was, keep in mind we had a different CEO at that time, but there was a $500 bonus, a 6-pack. No, they had a case of Red Bull and Subway sandwich cards. They would bring us over here to Westwood, and that's the thing they would do to us to keep us driving. To say, look, go to Subway, eat those sandwiches, and drink this Red Bull, and keep
yeah,
driving. And those
yeah.
days are long gone, man. They're never coming
Yeah.
back. I don't think.
No, those days are definitely gone. Well, so listen, we will do the behind the wheel
Okay,
next
buddy.
month as you wish,
Yeah.
because I think you have a lot to add to the color of what's going on because you're on the streets, you know what's happening,
But that's what
and
I'm saying. And we talked about EVs, Sergio. Remember, we talked about the EVs. Remember, I told you that. I sent you that picture of I'm in Beverly Hills at a traffic
yeah,
light, 4 in the morning for a reservation. not making much money, but it was a good little $37-$40, pickup drop off at the airport. I'm
Yeah.
working that like no big deal. I pull up to the intersection right there on Beverly, Pico and Rodeo, right there at the cross light, where all those lights and everything are. I pulled there. There's 7 Waymos, not one other human driver there, just me and those Waymos. It was a creepy
Wow.
kind of thing I'm looking at. I'm like, I'm now here trying to make a few bucks, and these things, all they got to be is charge up and keep working. I got to go home and rest in a little while, and these guys are out here just got to be plugged up, and it was scary then. This was about 6 months ago. That was a scary time. I said, this is really scary. If I would have filmed that right there, it would have been like a movie scene. Like here's a human driver pulling up with all the robot cars, and this
I agree.
is what the world we come in. And I think Eddie, whatever they're doing that in Austin right now, and I
Yeah.
feel sorry for
Yeah.
my man down there dealing with that.
Yeah.
I
No,
know.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
All
But
right, guys, but it's good talking
I
to
have
you.
some plans for that. You'll just stay tuned. But anyway.
Okay, I got you. But have a
All
good one,
right. Good
guys.
to see
Keep
you.
doing
Be
what you're
safe
doing.
out
All right.
there. We'll chat again.
Okay, take care. All righty, cool.
Bye-bye.
All right, thanks. Bye.
There you go. That's the premier cherry picker in Los Angeles. Let me tell you that. Okay. So nobody else? Okay, cool.
One thing I always say is work smarter, not harder. If you aren't using the Solo app, then you may be working harder. So let's change that. Download the app, link your accounts where you can manage your income, track your expenses, and project your taxes. Not only that, but you can plan by optimizing your time, make more, and even guarantee your daily pay with guaranteed earnings. Download Solo and begin to work smarter, not harder today. Link is in the description. All right, let's get back to it.
All right. So let's finish it off.
Moral of the story is cherry pick.
You have to cherry pick. I mean, if you want to lose money, if you think this is charity, if you think this is public transportation, if you think this is some sort of whatever, do what you need to do. Look, I mean, everybody does whatever they want to do, but you need to just look out for yourself. You can't, like I said in the last sentence of the article, you can't work you're not working for the apps. You're working for yourself. So it's your choice. Do whatever you want to do. Oh, we got one
more person.
Okay, we got one more.
How you doing?
Hey, sir. Hey, how you guys doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good. Yourself?
Good. I don't know, man. Cherry picking, I've tried it. When you sit for an hour not getting nothing but $3, I don't know how you cherry pick from garbage.
Well, what? Okay, what city are you in?
In the worst city in town, LA. This is what I
Okay.
look. This is, I'm sure you've seen this. This is what LA.
Yeah, that's not that accurate. But let's do this. Let's do this.
You don't think this is accurate?
Not 100%. But that's not the point. The point is this. So I asked this to the previous driver. I said, if there are no cherries to pick, how can you cherry pick? Right? It makes sense. And unfortunately, if you think like what time was and what day of the week was it? What time was that when you were just sitting there for an hour and taking getting $3 chips? What time of the day was it?
Well, I've noticed the San Fernando Valley is a tough place to be, and I have to work my way down to LA.
I live in Granada Hills. I know the San Fernando Valley like the back of my hand. Okay, San Fernando Valley is the worst place to be. Worst place to drive rideshare. Number one. Number two. You know how I drive? I grab myself a scheduled trip or a reserve trip or get my ass off at 4:30 in the morning. I want to be at LAX by 6, and there are plenty of people going to LAX at 4:30. I get my ass up. If I don't have a reserve trip, turn the app on. You're getting whatever trip they're paying you. You just want to go into the city, and you want to be around Santa Monica. You want to be around Marina del Rey. You want to be around Culver City when busy hour is kicking in. If you're in the San Fernando Valley looking for trips, all you're going to get is those car dealership trips for $3 and $4. And if you're in the San Fernando Valley past 6 o'clock, you're a dead man because 405 South is dead. Any trip you get after that, it's a parking lot. So trust me, I've done this for a while. And if you're like right now, okay, where in the San Fernando Valley are you?
No, I live far. I just drive through. I try to get to LA, going through the valley. Unfortunately,
Okay, where do you live? Where do you live?
I live up in by Santa Clarita.
Okay, Santa Clarita, perfect trip. I plenty of people going from Santa Clarita to LAX in the mornings, but you need to get on early. Now, when Uber tells you, "Oh, turn the app on, you'll make $30 an hour," it's bullshit. You're not going to make any kind of money. And for a fact, Santa Clarita is only like 7 miles north of me. It's actually, Santa Clarita surges a lot more on the weekends than it does in Granada Hills or anywhere else in the valley or Sherman Oaks. So your market actually is not that bad. It's that the time you're out there is bad. The time you're out there, like if you're right now in Santa Clarita at 4:30, you turn your app on, you're not going to get any pings. But get your ass up at 4:30, turn your app on, no destination filter. You're gonna catch a trip going to LAX, and now you're in the city. Work the shift between 6 and 10 a.m. That's your morning shift, split shift, and then take a couple hours off because you're not gonna get back there. Now, if you want to get back to Santa Clarita with no traffic at that hour, cherry pick now a trip that's going your direction. You can piece it together. Don't use your destination filter because they won't send you there. But there is a rule for this. There is I don't believe that when people say, "I'm sitting here, I'm only getting $3 trips," I mean, that means you're out at the wrong time of the day. I'm not blaming you. Maybe you don't know. But I'm telling you, I'm doing like a coaching session here with you. If you want to make money, you got to work when and where there is demand. When there is no demand, when it's 2 in the afternoon in Santa Clarita or 2 in the afternoon in Granada Hills, I can turn my app on. I will not get one ping for like 2 hours, let alone $3 ping. I won't. So, you got to work when and where there is demand, and you got to position yourself correctly. Like, where do you want to be when? You want to be going to LAX early trip. Take a coffee, take your coffee, go to Marina, park, relax, have your coffee, chill out, wake up, hit the morning rush hour, Santa Monica, never go back to LAX. All these rules, there are all these rules that you need to know. This all comes with experience, obviously, but I'm giving you my playbook. Okay.
Well, last night, what is the minimum fare in LAX? I think it's like $12.
$3 or some shit. I don't know.
No,
Who
no,
knows?
LAX did. They
Oh,
give you like
LAX is 12. It's 12.
yeah. At 2 a.m., they sent me $12 for 22 miles going to Van Nuys. They know
Okay.
I want to get back north, so they hit you hard, even though I didn't have my destination on.
Well, here's another point. 2 a.m. at LAX, you should. I wouldn't get caught dead at 2 LAX. I'll be in Hollywood doing drunk trips if I'm going to make some money, because that's the bar hours. The last trip, by the way, the last flight that comes into LAX is at like 2:30, and then between 2:30 and 5:30, the lot is closed. There is no planes coming in. Why am I even at LAX at 2:30 in the morning? That means you didn't plan it correctly. You didn't end up correctly at where you need to end up.
Yeah, I mean, I ended up there by, it wasn't, I didn't plan it, honestly, but there were a lot of late flights coming. That's why I hung out, I stayed there. I said, maybe I'll catch
Okay.
some.
Well,
But
okay.
they hit you with $12 going to
Yeah,
Van
because
Nuys from.
look, because there's so many drivers at that time over there that you're lucky you got hit with $12. So what I'm telling you, Lair, is that you live actually in a good area. So read that article and figure out what I said in that article. And please read that. It's on our website, right? It's free. Go follow some of those rules. I think you will make so much more money. You know what I mean? So much more. So anyway, thank you, man. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you, and I hope one time you'll do a call in regarding how the pickups are. How we're scammed. By the way, especially like at events, you go to SoFi, they send us pickup zone at Kareem Court inside a gated community. So you
Never,
go there,
never do pickups inside their geofence area. Ever, never.
or like Dodger Stadium, same thing. You go there and you're far away from the
You're
pin. They
dead
put the
man.
pin.
You're a dead man walking. You go to Dodger Stadium to do a pickup in the lot. You're a dead man. I would never do that. I'd rather be parked on Sunset and doing my thing. I would never do any of that stuff. All the stuff that they want you to do. Remember the last line of my article I read. You don't work for the apps. You do what you want to do. You don't drive the way they want you to drive. If you do, you're going to end up where you are. You drive the way you want to drive. That's it. That's it. No ifs, no buts about it.
All right.
All right.
Thank you. Great
All
show.
right.
Thank
Take care, bro. Take care. Be safe out there.
you. Bye.
All right, thanks for watching. That short little clip was from our live stream, Show Me the Money Club with Sergio and myself, Tuesdays, 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific. Make sure you subscribe, turn on all notifications so you get notified when we go live, as well as all of our awesome content. Make sure to check out this video right here, which will take you to the entire live stream, or check out this video right there. All right, drive smart, everyone.